Pikes Peak in Colorado has no apostrophe. Neither does Harper's Ferry. That's not sloppy typography. It's a ruling. Since 1890, a little-known group has approved apostrophes in exactly 6 natural feature names. Martha's Vineyard is one of them. They've been quietly deciding what America is called ever since. Most years, nobody notices they're there. Then in January 2025, the machinery almost came into view.
This is the outfall.
This is the outfall.
This is the outfall,
Where water,
infrastructure.
And untold stories meet.
I'm Robert, and this is one of our 5-minute shorts. Let's go. Here's what I assumed. Map names aren't really decided. The locals call a mountain something. A surveyor writes it down. And that's the name. Recorded, not ruled on. You know what? I was so wrong. In 1890, yes, 1890, the Census Bureau announced for the first time there was no frontier line left to draw. The wild edge of the map was gone. The map itself, it was a mess. Federal agencies could put 2 different names on the same mountain, both official. Alaska was the worst. Russian, native, English names all competing. So that September, President Benjamin Harrison created the Board on Geographic Names. The year America ran out of the unmapped edges, it built an office to govern the names on them. When the agencies disagreed, the board decided. And guess what? They're still at it. The board's domestic committee meets the second Thursday of every month. This past May was meeting 883. On the agenda, a reservoir in Avon, Colorado, that the federal government calls Benchmark Lake Reservoir. Everybody there calls it Nottingham Lake. Somebody filed the paperwork to fix that in July 2018. The board approved it this May. Almost 8 years to make official a name locals had used for decades. That's the board's whole personality, deference. It starts by asking what the people who live near a place actually call it. It won't even name a mountain after somebody until they've been dead 5 years. And that apostrophe rule, same instinct. There's an old story that they were removed because a stray mark might look like a rock in the water. The board says, that's just folklore. Their reasoning is simple. A geographic name isn't ownership. Pike doesn't own that peak, so the apostrophe has nothing left to do. They scrubbed hundreds of thousands of names to make that point. 6 got exceptions. Martha's Vineyard took a 40-year campaign by the locals. For 136 years, federal naming power has started with one question. What do the people who live there call it? And that's what makes that January 2025 so interesting. On January 20th, the president signed an executive order directing that, for federal use, the Gulf of Mexico become the Gulf of America. On February 7th, the Secretary of Interior ordered the board to act immediately. Within days, the federal database changed. Done. Now remember that machinery. Nottingham Lake, research, consultation, 8 years. None of that happened here. And none of it had to. The board has a policy for exactly this. Names established by Congress or the president, the committee that normally asks the locals, had simply been handed its answer. One important point, official means official for federal use. It binds federal maps, not Mexico, not newspapers, not everybody else's maps. Open Google Maps here, and you'll see one name. Open it in Mexico, you see another. And that has happened before. In 1963, days after President Kennedy was assassinated, Cape Canaveral became Cape Kennedy through a telephone poll of board members. The locals never let that old name go. A decade later, Florida got Cape Canaveral back. The Space Center kept Kennedy's name and the Cape kept its own. Last week, we found out words for water are inherited stories, not measurements. This one is stranger. Official comes in layers. A name can be official federally, rejected locally, and completely different across the border, all at the same time. A committee took the apostrophe off Pikes Peak to say, no one owns a mountain. Turns out, somebody can still own the map.